Okay. Third attempt, Electric Boogaloo, Episode 11, Patterson-Gimlin Massacre.
Alright, so what I have on this is interesting. The thing with Bigfoot shit is that it's always boomers talking about it, like really insane boomers, but there's this one man, what's his name? Let me see if I can find his name. 1 second. I forgot his name already. Oh god, where was it? M.K. Davis, who is a, like, Sasquatchologist or something, whatever. He asserts that the Patterson-Gimlin footage, the famous thing of the Bigfoot walking, he asserts it's a female Sasquatch running away from gunfire. That in the footage, it's visible. You can visibly see blood and dead Sasquatch body. And he uses this to assert that Patterson and Gimlin were actually contracted by an oil company to kill all the Bigfoot in an area, and that's where the footage comes
from. 1967. Let's see.
Any images circling the dead Sasquatches? That'd be fucking interesting.
Oh, the Patterson-Gimlin footage is like, what, 5 seconds long, so I can probably just pull it up on YouTube.
Yeah, but it's very shaky. Hold up.
I can probably, it's probably in a GIF. We just put the GIF, Discord GIF-y thing.
Yeah. The Sasquatch does look like it has breasts, though.
They also say that it's running away from gunfire, which the video is silent so we can't hear it, but I also don't like to see anything.
I was right. If you look at movie night, it just embedded one element.
Yes, I found one where it's not shaky. Now let's take a look at...
I don't see any pools of blood or Bigfoot corpses, do you?
I mean, blood didn't really exist in the 60s.
That's a good point.
You ever seen those old action movies? They get shot and nothing happens, they just fall.
Well, if this were real footage of Bigfoot being murdered, I would think there'd be...
I think he'd be moving a little bit faster.
Alright,
Maybe
so...
that's fucking retarded.
So, guys, in this video... I'm gonna post it in voice. Actually, no, I'm gonna post it in movie night.
use movie night or...
If you skip to 1 minute and 11 seconds, you can see the footage stabilized. They're definitely not running, and I don't see any bodies.
Not really seeing any blood.
I'm not really seeing
It isn't black and white,
either.
though. It's very blurry footage, so you can really see whatever you want in there. Like, if I try hard, I can see, like, oh, that one smudgy, blurry object is a Bigfoot body, but it's impossible to tell. It's just too blurry.
I mean, most of the stuff I'm looking at is just more like greens, and I'm not really seeing any red.
It's black and white. It's black and white footage, Judge.
Most of the pictures I'm looking at isn't black and white.
The stabilized footage is in black and... What an epic channel name, Creepy Paste.
Yeah. Creepy paste. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is a no. This probably didn't happen.
Well, here's where the cryptid rule comes into play. So does this count as a cryptid one?
No.
Because Bigfoot is involved.
No. Just because a cryptid is involved does not mean that it is a cryptid one. When we say that
this is a pretty low test way to start an episode.
Yeah.
What do you... Alright, well, what should we have started?
Yeah, the Bigfoot things, it comes up like once every section of the iceberg. It never goes anywhere.
Yeah, but
It's really shit.
It is.
Bigfoot.
So hold up.
Interesting.
Just to quickly reassert the rules. We don't black the idea of the cryptids, not the conspiracies surrounding them. So, like, we don't black Bigfoot, but one about them being genocided.
You're gonna...
Look, we have a way more interesting one right after this one.
Oh, yeah. I figured you would know about this one, Baph, but once I looked at... Because this one's really big.
It is based. Are we ready to move on?
Speaking of based, REX84.
You just say Rex 80.
The WTF Rex, the poster.
Oh my god.
Alright. So, if you talk to the slightly woke boomers, they'll tell you that the CIA government bullshit, it really toned itself down after the 60s. However, Rex 84, as the name implies, took place in 1984. It was a classified scenario where the feds would detain large numbers of the population in the event of an emergency. Deemed unusual persons. Let's see. Now, they're pretty vague on it. It was briefly referenced in this Senate hearing that I've put in movie night, where they refused to touch on the topic.
From what I remember, Reagan was really a big fan of Rex 84.
Oops.
As a precaution in case we needed to like invade Central America and there would be like riots.
Hey Boson, can you give me movie night?
No, I'm not a mod.
Ah.
DM biggest head. Just ask him for it.
Or curse. Either or. From what I read on X, the big thing with Rex 84 was like turning military bases into like prison. Is that like based in fact, or is that just...
That is not included in the article, but to be fair, it is just wiki.
Is it still classified, or has it been?
Well, if it's on wiki, then no.
Yeah. Right.
OMG, why are you using wiki and not my obscure 4chan source?
Wikipedia is not as valid a source as 4chan's act.
Confirmed. One worldness.
This just looks like a generalized, or at least most of the stuff I keep finding is New World Order. Not seeing anything particular about you guys.
Yeah, I haven't been able to find anything. I found like one scholarly article, but it was like I don't think it was related to Iceberg in any way. So I don't know, I just couldn't get it. There's nothing on X either.
Related to one-worldness, which is actually a legitimate and interesting academic description of conspiratorial thought.
That might be it.
On one-worldness or paranoia as a world system. 2006, Summer, Issue 2, Volume 18, American Literary History, pages 36 through 365 through 389. World system. According to Emmanuel Waterstein's world system theory, I wonder about that name, which focuses on markets and equal phases of global capitalism, assumes enhanced relevance in the post-9/11 era, in which the militarization of border patrol, information, and intelligence further compounds economic definitions of one-worldness. There's a footnote that isn't available. Okay. I'm posting the article here.
And of course it opens fucking Opera. Thank you, computer.
Why would you have that installed?
Why do you have it set as your main browser?
Yeah.
Opera has less backdoors than any other browser, making it more objectively safe to view racy things.
Yeah, it looks like one-worldness is just the academic term for New World Order and thoughts along that line.
I do plan on switching over to Google Chrome, though, so... Huh?
I want to switch from the browser with the least amount of backdoors to the one with the most amount of.
Just Cameo.
So this is one of the ones that is, I think, intentionally or maybe unintentionally, probably intentionally misspelled. It's actually spelled Caime. And from what I've gathered, it's a really, really old meme. Really old. I don't know how old. About it really strikes me as creepypasta level, but it's like an AI that someone like allowed to access the deep web and just left there for like 10 years or something. And there's a lot of logs about people talking to it. There's an image. It's very grainy. There's the image in movie night. It's an old meme, but there's no evidence for it necessarily. But it's an interesting idea.
There's a rational wiki entry on it. The poster. No, I mean, it doesn't debunk it at all. It just fucking informs you of it. Why the fuck is this on the rash? Whatever. Fuck it.
I'd recommend reading the. I think that we could leave this on there just because it's interesting to look deeper into. Because there are a lot of transcripts are very long.
Yeah. No, there are also other deep web AI things. Like, we could definitely, when we do season 2, we can put this alongside the, what's the other one?
I don't even remember the other.
Yeah, no, we can definitely do that. 187 pterodactyl.
It's
185. 185. Yeah, I know.
Judge Boyer, Baph, you get anything on it? 'Cause I could...
It doesn't really return anything interesting.
Although I did find this one article about a pterodactyl species that was discovered.
Oh.
It doesn't have anything to do with Iceberg. Look at this retard. Look at this retard. It's got teeth.
A bird with teeth. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Next up is Neurological Nihilism, and I'm already looking at it, and I already think it's stupid.
Oh, what can you see about it as you're looking at it?
Is a neurological position that objects with proper parts do not exist. Only neurological symbols. These basic building blocks without proper parts exist, or more
Succinctly.
Succinctly, nothing is a proper part of anything. Neurological symbols can be both spatial and temporal. Neurological nihilism only asserts that objects exist in time, do not have any temporal parts.
Neurological or neurology is the study of quote-unquote parts and their wholes.
This just sounds like a high IQ version of the nothing exists argument.
Let's see anything immediately. Yep, there's nothing on 4chan about the pterodactyl. So what's the conspiracy bit, then?
I don't know. I think... Well, every now and then it wants us to explore some philosophical concept, and I immediately go, where's the conspiracy?
Because you're gay. That's why you say that, because you're gay.
So we're just gonna move on to the next one. It's pretty dumb.
By the way, for this one, the no black encrypted rule is really going to bite you in the ass.
I don't care. I like the living stick figures.
Oh, yeah.
Baph, what's a living stick figure?
I'm gonna let one of the boys take this one here.
Are you like investigating
It's
one
just
further?
it's just a cryptid that was reported by a lot of people around the world in the early 2000s and in the 70s. They would just see like living black stick figures just walking around.
Awful.
There's an image included. It's not really much of a stick figure, is it?
Terrifying, truly.
Let me see if I can find anything better about it.
Oh.
Let's see if we can't get a video.
I found an article about Pee-Pee. The 4-foot man they call a living stick.
I get nothing but I get nothing but animations.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not a lot for it, but guess what? It's a cryptid. You can't black it. It's a...
Ah, there we go.
Hello, everybody.
Nope. I just want a video. Fucking damn it. Alright. ICBM decoy.
Unless I'm missing something, it refers to penetration aids, which is it's a way of lying to people that there are more missiles than there are, or missiles that are fake. It's just to make nuclear attacks easy.
Makes sense.
I would say if you want to go deep down the rabbit hole, the idea that there are no ICBMs and the whole thing is a decoy to deflect the public's attention while they develop a different kind of weapon entirely.
I have to say, the Karbon section has been very low testosterone. Like, this is easily gotta be the most boring section we've ever done.
Yeah, and it gets boring.
Thanks, Karbon.
I can only hope that Ant Demon section is way better.
What I've seen, it's so far pretty good, but no looking ahead. That's
Yeah, no looking ahead. Breatharianism.
Judge Wood.
The first thing that comes up is Inidia, which is just fasting. I guess it's the idea that there's a lot more to fasting than the secular view. I'm looking for anything.
Oh, isn't that a form of veganism where you only breathe air to survive?
You mean willingly die?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's right. A lot of people are trying to say that they survive without food or water. They survive only on air and light. Plants.
I'm pretty sure they're lying.
I'm just finding a bunch of articles making fun of them.
That's always a good sign.
You think this one's valid, boys? You think you can live just by breathing?
Oh, I found this creepy picture that someone painted.
The fuck?
Nice.
You see, as you eat less, the you becoming thinner isn't you becoming emaciated. You're becoming closer.
Yeah, that's right. You're getting rid of all the worldliness that you don't actually need.
Oh,
You know,
no.
like your muscles. You don't need that heart.
Oh, no. It makes me feel uncomfortable. Up next is Door Dogs.
This is really low test. It's just an urban legend about how people who are about to die will have like a dog follow them through doors that only other people can see. You can count it as a cryptid if you want, or you can just black it. Honestly, I don't care because it's not.
Alright, up next, Melonheads.
This one's a bit
It's
better.
it's some low IQ Midwestern folklore.
Shut up, it's base.
Even their spooky stories are pretty low energy, but So the melon heads refer to children. A form of cryptid is a child with an inflamed head that will attack people. And,
You trying to tell me? You trying to tell me that if you saw this coming at you at night from the cornfield, you wouldn't be? I think I'd be.
Yeah.
I'd punch him.
So the legend goes. Let's see. The one Dr. Crow, who owned an orphanage, did some pretty bad things to children, and then they turned on him and burned down the orphanage. And because they were basically feral, they just roamed the hills and attacked the corn farmers.
It looks like they never actually grew up. There might have been something else with them.
Melonhead also refers to the Los Angeles Rams.
Wonder why.
Crazy shit. Crazy shit. Alexander's diving bell.
Sounds familiar. Have we gone over this one?
There may be a few repeats.
Alexander the Great and the bathysphere.
Oh, that sounds good.
Oh, a bunch of pretty pictures. Half of them are just him in the barrel. See if I can find a big one.
So it's another example of out-of-place technology.
There's an example.
He took a chicken with him to the seafloor. I can't believe it.
And a cat, apparently.
I request a chicken to come with me on this voyage.
Could Alexander the Great get any more big?
No.
Baph, you need to update your bullying statement. Instead of telling people, when Alexander the Great was your age, he conquered the world, and also he went to the bottom of the ocean.
Beyond several European paintings, it looks like there's a couple of Islamist ones, too.
You mean Islamic?
I know what I said.
I mean, they could very well be trying to claim that he was a Muslim, so I don't know. But,
Supposedly, it was a glass diving bell. Some poor boy over in the crow's nest. Seems like a pretty famous...
Hey yo, so you be saying, hold up.
thank you.
You're welcome.
UFO witness suicides.
This is a really strange one. There's a huge thing among like the UFOologist community where it's a lot of like really prominent UFO witnesses and UFO researchers die in like really mysterious ways. One of the biggest is Phil Schneider, who was like an Air Force guy who went hard into the UFO thing. He told a friend at one point, he said, "If I ever commit suicide, know that I was murdered." And now, what year is this? I think 1966 or 1996. Sorry, they found his body and it was dubbed a suicide.
No, that's spooky as shit.
Yeah, there was some article written by some guy that claimed that by 1971, Otto Binder wrote an article discussing a pattern composed of up to 137 deaths of flying saucer researchers, writers, scientists, and witnesses during the 1960s. I need to find that article.
They glow in the dark.
They really do. They really.
That's spooky. Now, I think we've gone over this before. Not in this series, but in other icebergs we did that we didn't record. Stab wound fucking.
It's really big. There's nothing.
There's nothing on it. It's just stab wound fucking.
Let me do a search anyway.
Are you sure?
Are you sure about that?
No, I'll be. I'm doing it
FBI.
on X.
You're doing it on your office internet too, which is really big.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'll do it anyway.
Time to get another
stab
one.
wound fucking laugh.
Looked up UFO researcher deaths and stab wounds fucking life. What are melon heads? What was going on? Living stick.
Is this person on drugs? We need to drug test you?
Alright. Up next is Ningans.
That is... Ningen is the Japanese word for human being, and it looks like it's a cryptid.
How many of those are in Karbon's? Jeez.
So, I was going to take this article serious, but and this is funny because I've seen this before in like cursed image compilation. But look at this boy. This is the article. This is the image they use for the.
I think there are better
there's
images.
a lot of those.
Yeah, it's basically a human, but no, it's an ape that evolved underwater and not land. That's
Yeah, all of them seem to be underwater. Hold on, let's see if I can get this one. There's another. Oh, site can't be reached. Okay.
Some other images used to prove Ningans are included in this. And by the way, can I just say, that image at the top with the huge thing with the arm, I've seen that so many times and can never find like a source or an origin for it. Does anyone have any idea where this image comes from? And I know you've seen it.
I've seen it before. That's definitely a photoshopped whale.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know. I've just seen it everywhere and there's no origin point. I don't know where it came.
Oh, someone made a, someone decided to make a slightly more clear-looking photo of it.
Are you gonna post the one I... Oh. This is my favorite one, by the way. Look at how dopey it looks. You just... you look like a retard. It's just walking.
He's just looking back at you. He looks so angry.
I don't know why.
It looks as though someone just photoshopped a seal's face on a half-walking model. What the fuck?
I don't care. It's just, it makes me laugh. It makes me giggle.
No. Behave.
Anyway, I guess we're moving on to sun collapse. More Ningen images.
That's pretty nice. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. I have to look up some...
Yeah. Sun collapse. We're looking up sun collapse.
Just put
I
this.
guess, yeah.
So glad the Boolean operators operate on here.
Sun collapse.
CERN's own words about purposely creating microscopic black holes.
What the fuck? I found one of these big posts where they explain a whole bunch of them, and it just says sun collapse happens from time to time. What does that mean? What does that mean?
That's it, viewers. It just happens. Accept it.
I mean, are they trying to say that the Mayan cosmological idea is supposed to be true? Like, we have 5 different suns. Each time, it's just a different universe?
It's like the only post I kind of...
It just happens. There's nothing you can do about it. It's about as real as the Kali Yuga.
I don't know. I hate doing this because my worst fear is that someone who's like actually versed in the shit watches these videos. You didn't look into it at all, you retard. It's actually this, but like, legitimately, I can't find anything about the sun collapse shit. So like, I don't know what else to.
It's. I mean, I'd hardly argue that any of us are experts. So if anyone ever got mad at us for not investigating something to its fullest, I don't know what else to tell you.
Let's see what X says.
I looked on X, so that was where I found that it happens from time to time.
Happens from time to time, retard.
Sun just collapses, dude. Have you not seen it?
It just suddenly
Is
shrinks.
there a problem with that? Is there a problem with the sun is collapsing?
Listen, Incel, if you went outside every now and then, you'd see the sun collapse. I know you're always on the internet. When I go out and go to the gym, I see the sun collapse.
Trump is a canteen, tarred, voters engine set. What is this?
Okay, this is leading us on down all kinds of shit that we don't want. Vice City spiders.
N-word.
Of course, that refers to the 2005 hit game Vice City. There's a texture on the wall. It looks like a spider, I guess. It doesn't look like one to me, but it circulated a couple of years ago. Like, guys, there's a spider in Vice City. The only reason this is considered is because in the game's files, the Haitian gangs make a lot of references to spiders. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either.
Alright, so we can just, zoop, black that one out. Shadow Subway.
Can't believe you blacked a Vice City spiders. It's technically encrypted. It's just
No, it's on a video game. Fuck off.
virtual cryptids don't.
Guess not.
Nope.
Well,
As
if
much as-
virtual cryptids don't count, I guess you gotta get rid of Cameo.
No, the cameo isn't encrypted. It's a,
Yeah, Cameo
It's an
isn't
AI.
decrypted. It's an AI.
well. In any case, as much as I like the imagery for Shadow Subway, I couldn't quite find anything for it on X. Do you two have any?
You're looking for it?
Oh wait, what's this? No, not that. I legitimately don't have anything. Nothing even remotely similar shows up.
Damn, I was really looking forward to this one. I was,
Guess you were wrong.
I guess I was wrong. Now, we've gone over
Wait,
this
wait.
before.
Hold on.
Oh, oh.
Alright.
Yes. Some guy claims 2006 volleyball incident, a shooting or other tragedy, which has been erased from record for some reason, remembered by a few. NYC is on escape in New York. Conspiracy theory version. Check the archive. Shadow Subway is a secret interdimensional or intentional subway system below major cities. Hold on.
What?
What?
Interdimensional subway system.
Of all
This
major
booster.
cities.
And of course it opens. Fuck if. Damn it. Alright, hold up.
I can't find any other explanation beyond that. That's all I got.
There's a secret interdimensional or international subway system below major cities. And I exited out Google Chrome by accident. Great. Okay, there's just nothing here, though. As crazy as that is.
At least we got half an explanation now.
So, we've gone over this one before. It's my personal favorite of these types. It's Tommy Wiseau equals DB Cooper.
This one goes pretty deep, actually.
Yeah, I have an image that I'm posting in movie night here. I've luckily for you cropped out all the shitty XKCD parts of this image, but basically lays out the theory. DB Cooper hijacks a plane, steals a whole bunch of money. This Tommy Wiseau guy shows up with a whole bunch of money, and there's a lot of similarities between the two, especially their speaking style. Reportedly, during the hijacking, instead of asking for money, he asked for negotiable American currency, which is something I can see Tommy Wiseau saying.
Negotiable American currency.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the images, they look similar enough, and I can imagine that maybe in the fall from the plane, he got brain damage or something.
His face looks a bit wider than usual, or the sketch rather.
The problem with that is if Wiseau was born in 55, that would make him only 16 during the hijack.
Was he born in 50?
Yeah.
Well, actually, we don't know. His age is entirely a mystery. He's kept it secret for a long.
Well, he said on Jimmy Kimmel Live that he was born in 55.
I honestly don't trust that, to be honest, because if you read the Disaster Artist, which I have, there's a lot in that about how he really wants to keep his age a secret from people. So I don't see him intentionally revealing his actual age to people on TV on national. Like
Oh my god. Mew is transmitting, but he's muted. Oh, never mind.
There you. Do you think that DB Cooper is Tommy Wiseau? Why not? Oh, okay, good. Is Sinaticus convinced?
Yes, I do.
Now that's big.
It's definitely him. DB Cooper fucking robbed a plane, jumped out of it with a fuck ton of money, and then became a movie star.
Right after going to Europe.
Movie.
Right after going to Europe. Yep. I unconditionally believe this. So.
It definitely stems from Tommy Wiseau's apprehension of revealing anything about it, because unless he has significant reason to do so, why would he do it?
With that being said, 3301337.cf.
Some guy claims that it was related to alien technology. Something about 7 primes.
It's a website. It's a URL.
Cicada.
It is related to Cicada.
I about to say 3301. Is that a coincidence?
It appears to be unsolved, but you can look at the website yourself. It's just 3301.337. I don't know if I recommend it. You might get a virus or some shit.
I just tried joining, and it's not a link I can get to.
It's an archive.
Let's put another mark on the office Wi-Fi.
Thanks for your IP, retard.
Your internet connection is too slow. What?
Did you click the one in the 4chan thread, or?
Oh no, I didn't.
Oh, I clicked
Is there
the
one in the? Which
just
one?
Just put down the link.
One, the Lion 77 one.
Yeah, that one didn't work for me. I had to go to the archive.
I think all these pages are dead by now. Apparently, it's connected with a lot of other bigger shit, so I would say just leave it for the second season, because there's some deep stuff going on.
Yeah. Mariana's Web. Is that a cat? Yeah, that's a cat. Dark Fantasy Network. What am I looking at? We're saving this for season 2. 469 Bone Lord language.
Alright, so it's from some obscure MMO. 469 is the Bone Lord language. In written form, 469 appears as a coded sequence of numbers lacking any punctuation or spacing. It's some mystery from a really old MMO. If you look in the X archive, all of the people talking about it are just saying, "I can't believe this is on there. Whoever made this is old as fuck."
For example, use the dictionaries to code 469 as meaning Bone Lord.
It's some League of Legends cryptic shit.
It's not League of Legends. I've played League of Legends for years and ain't never heard anything like this. Plus, Riot's not that inventive. Ow. Fuck. Alright, we can just black that out. The Phone Mafia.
It's apparently a website. I'm nervous to touch it, actually.
I probably wouldn't have already.
Let's see if...
The phone website.
So it's apparently a paranoid conspiracy theory that telemarketers are part of an organized mafia. Let me get back up to it. Hold on.
I mean, they were all Indian, aren't they?
Paranoid conspiracy which revolves around telemarketers being part of an organized crime group trying to get info money out of people or otherwise drive them insane through cumulative. There used to be more believers in this theory online a few years ago. And he links to a thread where someone talks about an actual Bulgarian phone mafia that calls people pretending to be loved ones and asks them to leave money in random locations, and then it gets picked up by them.
Crazy. I don't see that happening with the American one, though. It's all
worldwide. It's worldwide, and the calls can be originating anywhere in the world. All people of the world are targets. Sometimes they just want you to say yes to something, to record this, and use your voice for any number of nefarious. The only way to protect yourself is to assume any unsolicited phone call may be a scam. Most people in Eastern Europe don't show who's calling on their home phones, which makes them a really easy target. That would explain why it's in Eastern Europe.
Yeah, I would say. That would explain why it's mostly in Eastern Europe.
I personally still get at least 2 calls from unfamiliar numbers each and every day. I never answer those calls. It's interesting because I don't know if you guys, I also experience them. I just get random calls every day from numbers I don't recognize, and then they never call me.
Yeah, no, and the thing is that I tried calling one back, and it said phone number disconnected.
I don't usually have that, but in my area there's a lot of phone scams, mostly because there's a large number of boomers that sometimes fall for it. So they usually just kind of call for that, but I don't really get that many,
This forum thread is quite extensive, I say we should...
Hell yeah.
Can you post it?
Shit, I just closed that. There you go.
Alright, Mormon Bigfoot.
Baph, you have anything on this?
I don't do anything involving big. No, sir.
Looks like it's up to us, Judge.
Okay.
Well, he's the wayward admin, so
What makes you think we talk about Mormon Bigfoot?
why wouldn't you be talking about Mormon Bigfoot?
Oh my god, it's actually like a real. Mormon Bigfoot is a conspiracy theory that some Mormons tell. Basically, one of their leaders in the early 1900s ran into Bigfoot and spoke with him and found out that Bigfoot was Cain from the time.
Oh,
This isn't taught in the religion, but most people in the religion don't believe this leader would have lied about something like considering he was an honest man. This leader also only told his close friends and didn't want to alarm the general church. Holy shit.
black-skinned Bigfoot, who they swear is actually Cain, condemned the Mormon god to wander.
Yikes.
Eh,
Wasn't expecting that.
It is a cryptid, though, so we have to leave.
No, it's a biblical figure.
It's still a cryptid. It's still a cryptid.
No, it's not. It's a biblical figure.
It's not even
Big biblical figure condemned to be cursed to look like Bigfoot and become a cryptid. So get
It's the mark of Cain, my guy.
the mark of Cain as you become Bigfoot.
Sorry, buddy. That's going to the blacked section of the image.
Oh, come on! You don't want to leave. This is a real religious text.
Black.
Oh, I don't believe that.
As the real religious text, eh? Yeah, okay. Antarctic pyramids.
This one is pretty solid. In Antarctica that are look suspiciously man-made, but are not explained or referenced.
They're just mountains taken from a funny angle.
Thank you, Snopes. I really appreciate it, but
No. You gotta provide evidence to the contrary. They're just mountains.
there's the famous tweet referenced in this blurry image where Buzz Aldrin posted a picture of a pyramid in Antarctica and said, "We are all in danger. It is evil itself," and then deleted it.
Didn't we, talk about this before?
Yeah, I'm sure it's come up before.
According to Snopes, he didn't actually post this.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, if you post something to that extent and then delete it, are you going to say, "Oh yeah, I posted that"? He's obviously going to deny it. I mean, I've made deleted posts on this Discord that I have denied being. Does that mean they never got posted?
That's the thing, right? It's like you can just lie and say Buzz Aldrin said it.
If you realistically can't prove it either way, though, so
Non-falsifiability? That's a yikes in my book. However, I do like this one. I like this theory a lot.
you can't deny Sinaticus. You've seen shit in Antarctica that looks mad.
Well, I've never physically been to Antarctica, so no, I haven't.
You've seen pictures.
Yes, I've seen pictures. We'll keep it just because I find the Antarctic pyramids to be interesting. Look at that image. Look at it. How does a mountain form like that?
There's even, because they say it's from a funny angle, but you can literally see that there's 4 distinct sides of this one in a pyramid fashion. It's even surrounded by smaller ones that look exactly like it, just like the pyramids of Egypt. So, I mean, I can understand where Baph is coming from, but at the same time, there's
But if those are artificially made, they did a really shit job.
Well, I believe the theory is not that they're just artificially made, but also that they're very old, which means they would have decayed.
Yeah. Being
I mean,
old means
Antarctica used to be green. That's not a secret, but I think anything else is just conjecture. I mean, I love the idea of ancient lost civilizations, but it just doesn't line up.
There's also There's also this structure, which is not a pyramid, but is still strange.
Sheer coincidence.
Why do you keep typing V?
That's my mic key, and sometimes I forget to click away, so I just have to hit enter or it doesn't.
When we said change your mic key, we didn't mean change it to V.
The Bumble said change my mic key to V.
What?
What other key is there? If I do any other key...
Let's control! Let's control!
I tried that before. Every time I copy pasted an image, it would...
Guys.
Left alt retard.
Oh,
Guys, are ghosts biological?
That is all.
I'm still looking.
Oh, I have it. Yeah, I bet. What's pause break?
Oh, I see it, yeah. That's really far away, though.
What's pause break? I don't even know.
It actually doesn't.
Set your push-to-talk key to your power button.
Joke's on you. I do have one, but it's not you. I have one, though.
Oh, I have
Crystal ghosts and biological mineralization.
Bigfoot is a ghost.
Come on.
We're never gonna escape Bigfoot.
We're just not gonna talk about this.
Hold on, let's see if we can find something else.
Oh shit.
I have an article called Bacterial Ghosts, but I don't think that's what...
I'm not seeing anything on X.
Okay, guess it doesn't exist. Todd sees.
It's a UFO story, but not quite.
Okay.
It's a real case of a real person who died in 2000. So what had happened was an 18-year-old boy was going scouting for deer in Pennsylvania around 5 a.m. and he didn't come back at the expected time. So his family found his four-wheeler about 2 miles from their house, unattended. They looked for him for the entire day. They couldn't find him. So they ended up calling the sheriff's office to help them look, and they searched for about 2 days. And the police found his body. The police found his body, but they did not show the parents the body. Furthermore, they didn't even let the parents hold a service. The FBI got involved, but it wasn't said why. And anytime the family tries to poke for information, like what happened, what did you see, the police and the FBI just decline to talk about it.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Let's see. Sergeant Guy of Point Township Police said there were some irregularities about the case, but would not go on detail. They didn't even offer a description of what happened to the body. It's just that it was irregular.
See, this is the kind of shit that tells me that the FBI or the CIA definitely has some sort of RPC SCP type division. It's gotta.
Pretty cringe, bro.
Well, what's the other? What's your alternative explanation?
I think he found something he shouldn't.
Yeah, like some crazy creature that's out to get your booty hole.
Yeah, it's really weird that they wouldn't show the parents the body. They wouldn't say what was... Because, they'll tell you if someone is killed, like slaughtered. They'll tell you if it was killed by an animal, but they didn't tell the parents what happened. They just said the regular case.
I had a panic moment just now and thought that I wasn't recording. Don't worry, I am. What the fuck is level 3 monster reality?
Boson.
It comes from a book called Mind Monsters by Jenny Randall. A unified... Hold on, what's it? Unified... It cuts... The link cuts off. So a unified theory of the high strange. Yeah, I'd have to look into the book. I'd say we leave it just so I can look deeper into it later. But
all right, yeah.
There's no like summaries online or reviews or anything, so I find a PDF or some shit.
And with that, we are finally free of the very uneventful Karbon section. I have to say, this is easily the most boring section we've ever done. And with that, I don't know how to pronounce this next one. Shugburov inscription?
I have pictures.
Shugburov?
So that's the statue itself.
It's a monument.
Yeah, and this is what they're talking about. It's this sequence of letters. Hey, look, it's...
The current theories are...
Awos. Oh no, oh no.
Ulosvav.
Look, there's even these. It's him.
So it's never been satisfactorily explained. But a linguist is certain that it is a Latin phrase referencing John 14:6. I am the way, the truth, and the life, and if it's in Latin, it would create a sentence that uses those acronyms. No, first letter is acronym, yes. I'll post it.
Is it the NSA guy?
Yeah, it would look a lot like that, although it is not perfect.
It's interesting that on the relief is like a mirror image of a painting that already exists, the Shepherds of Arcadia. I don't know why he would... It's just interesting. The D and the M are unexplained, though, aren't they?
But the monument itself was commissioned by Thomas Anson, an MP from Britain. Well, he's an architect as well.
It's always the fucking architects, man.
Oh my god, I looked further down and I know I shouldn't, but seeing that made me giggle.
What was it? What made you giggle?
We won't talk about it now, but Roanoke Colony still exists.
Did someone say Instablack something in the future? Usernet rumor mills. Usenet rumor mills.
There's nothing about it on X, but one interesting thing about Usenet that's not really related, but it is kind of interesting, is that Google has archived all of Usenet. So you can like look at every Usenet post ever made from like, I think like 1995 onward. It's really amazing.
Where exactly would you find that? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, here we go. Usenet Archive allows users to search Usenet news text archives from the present back to 1980.
1980, Jesus. So yeah, internet posts from the fucking 80s can be searched on Google freely from Usenet, and it's pretty based, but I couldn't find anything on X specifically about Usenet rumor mills, but I can assume that what it's referring to is that Usenet rumor mills are the origins of a lot of like creepypastas and urban legends on the internet and shit like. That's only that's just a theory.
All
So I
right.
don't know if I'd black it, but I don't know if it's worth coming back.
If it's not worth coming back, I'm gonna black it. Corporate blood rituals. Isn't this just like the stereotypical, like, people in high places do satanic things type shit?
I did find an actual article.
Well, show.
African children trafficked to the UK for blood ritual.
What the fuck?
Oh. What kind of blood ritual specifically?
Over the last 4 years, at least 400 African children have been abducted and trafficked to the UK and rescued by British authorities. It is unclear how they are smuggled into the country, but a sinister picture is emerging of one.
According to Kristen Bideau, Director of Anti-Trafficking Parity, ECPAT UK, cultural belief in the power of human blood and so-called juju rituals is playing a part on the demand for African children.
What the fuck?
Unaware he was being recorded, Mr. Kabul described to BBC's Chris Rogers how he got a hold of children for his customers. Ooh.
There's no fucking way.
Posing as buyers, wanting to traffic children to the UK, we went looking for one of Uganda's most prolific child abductors and traffickers.
Posing as a couple with
Within
financial
days,
problems,
we
I
made
visited
contact with
10
him.
witch doctors. All offered herbal potions to end our money worries. But 2 also made the offer of a ritual involving human blood.
During our conversation, he offered as many children as we would like.
I understand. Okay, we will talk tomorrow then. Insisted we meet at an isolated hotel.
I have enough, 100, no
It all
problem.
depends.
I have so
Abduct
many
the child.
communications.
I have to
a
find a
network
house where
across
we
the
can
whole
take
of
the son.
Uganda.
Good fucking lord. Oh my god. Alright, alright. I'm a little broken now. Hindu milk miracle.
So this was a really widespread phenomenon in India.
I think we talked about this before. Go on.
And from the fact that it's India. There's a lot that we talked about. On the 21st of September 1999, statues of the Hindu god Ganesh reportedly were drinking milk. And here's a, what is... Oh, that's the wrong thing.
Boson, this is an image of Antarctica, Boson.
Hold on, I copy-pasted, but I forgot to copy-paste the video.
Oh, what are you talking about? See, there's Ganesh at the bottom. He's drinking up all the milk. Antarctica is made out of milk.
Shut up, shut up, shut up. Okay, here's the video. And you can see there's footage. You put the spoon of milk up to Ganesh's trunk, and the milk would... this was happening all over India to a whole bunch of statues, so there's no way it was like an organized hoax. As far as I know, it's never been...
Some of those weren't Ganesh, though.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah, apparently before the day even ended, the phenomenon was over and they stopped drinking milk. Yeah, no, yeah. The most that skeptics have been able to say was that it was just mass hysteria, which is a cop-out explanation. So
But it's recorded! No, it can't be mass hysteria if it's recorded, you fucking idiot!
That's what Wikipedia says.
That's not how hysteria works!
Oh.
Is there a formal source for this, like a news agency?
I have a video.
Allegedly happened again, August 2006, 20 to the 21st. Exactly the same fashion, although initial reports seem to indicate that it occurred only with statues of Ganesh, Shiva, and Durga.
Like dirt.
Seems to be a common, well, not common, but it seems to happen a lot in India.
Well, regardless, yeah, that's the explanation, and no one has ever offered up a really solid explanation.
Maybe the statues are just simply sucking the milk to an alternate dimension. Like there's like a Hindu person in a different world with an empty spoon, and it's just transferring the milk over to the empty spoon.
Why only on the 21st of September 1990?
I don't fucking know. Why is there an airplane showing up in an Indonesian man's backyard?
Good point, but
Sometimes I just don't have the answer, man. Port Arthur cover-up.
Maybe there's a little elf inside the statue sucking it up. Something absorbing in the atmosphere. I can't find anything.
Nothing on Port Arthur cover-up, really?
There's an article on Vice, but
Maybe I'm looking in the wrong place. Hold on, let's try this again.
what?
I'm just laughing at the image that I changed the D&D Cabal to. It's of those 3 alpacas humping. Alright, I guess we're just gonna move on. Unfavorable semicircle.
Oh wait, were we on the Port Arthur cover-up? Because I have stuff.
Yes, we were. I was waiting.
I didn't even realize we were transitioning. I was just doing research.
Oh, shit, alright.
So the Port Arthur cover-up. I'm so sorry about that.
No, it's alright.
I guess I'm just retarded.
We're all like
The Port Arthur cover-up theory is that there were 3 different mass shootings all around the same time in the UK, Australia, and Canada. And the theory purports that they were all part of a single disarmament operation of Australia, UK, and Canada, put in place by the UK government. Because, as you know, after Port Arthur, Australia put in place its really strict gun control legislation. As a result of it, as did Canada and the UK for its own respective shootings, which were the Dunblane massacre and the Mark Hall massacre.
Right.
Nested whole threads about this, so I don't know that I have the time to read all of the info about it. So.
I believe it. Hell yeah. Sounds entirely reasonable to me. So, what's an unfavorable semicircle?
It's a YouTube channel.
Oh?
Or it was. It's actually a series of YouTube channels, because what would happen is it's very WebDriver Torso-esque, but a lot more complex. They would upload a lot of different styles of video, but a lot like WebDriver Torso, very like cryptic with a lot of geometry and weird noises.
but the thing is, videos would be uploaded every few minutes.
Yeah, and like really fast. Sadly, that GIF didn't embed. Oh yeah. But yeah, and what kept happening was they would just delete their channel and then remake it over and over again, and eventually they stopped doing that. They've since disappeared. There are a few archives of their videos up that you can look at.
I'll link one of them.
Good. There are, of course, a lot of theory videos as to explanations for it, but as of now, I don't think there's actually a deeper rabbit hole to look into. I wouldn't black it. It's Interesting.
Yeah, no, I won't black this. We've already gone over Dudley Town in previous icebergs, but not one in which we've recorded, so...
What is it?
Dudley Town.
I don't remember what that town was.
The town that doesn't exist.
It's a place in Connecticut, actually.
Oh, wait. Oh, fuck! I'm getting this confused for something else. Yes! Oh, okay. You see... fucking damn it. Is this what I think it is? Yes, this is the town of fairies. Or town for fairies.
Oh my god, this website is so long. There's so much shit about it.
No, this isn't the town for fairies. I'm getting this fucking thing mixed up.
Either way, supposedly Dudley Town was, or the founders of it, were descended from a man called Edmund Dudley, English nobleman who was beheaded for treason during the reign of King Henry VIII. From that moment on, the Dudley family was placed under a curse which followed them across the Atlantic to America. Apparently it's blamed for crop failure, mental illness, all sorts. At least it's the local rumor.
Fuck. Maybe I can convince my friends to take me to Dudley Town.
Historians have found no genealogical link from the Dudley family of Cornwall and the English nobleman. Let's see. The villagers' decline have instead been attributed to its distance from clean drinking water and soils not well suited for cultivation. One confirmed case of suicide of a village residents took place in New York State rather than within Cornwall. Since the 1990s, police in Cornwall have responded to numerous cases of vandalism, getting lost or trespassing at night in Dudley Town. Oh, the Blair Witch Project was, no, never mind. Apparently it might be next to a haunted forest, though.
Damn it. I'm gonna contact the guy, be like, hey, let me go exploring, and he's gonna be like, stop calling me. Grand Unified Conspiracy Theory. We can just black that and move
Well, actually, Sinaticus, I did find something about this.
Alright.
It refers to the story of Sybil Edmund and her theory about Operation Gladio B. Edmonds was an FBI translator after 9/11, hired to translate the massive backlog of foreign languages. She discovered evidence of Turkish spies within the FBI, tried to blow the whistle to Congress, and was hit with the most gag orders of any person in U.S. history. Shortest version, Operation Gladio was a historically documented false flag terror network established by NATO among various intelligence services and right-wing militias, supposedly to act as a stay-behind force in the event of a Soviet invasion. When the Soviets never invaded, the Gladio operatives turned to committing terrorist attacks that would be blamed on the Russians. As the Cold War ended and the Soviet Union started to fall, Gladio operations switched to Plan B, which involved using radical Islamists in place.
Alright.
Did you get all that?
Yeah, I got all that.
Here's a documentary about Sybil Edmund.
Alright. Alright.
Video where she talks about Operation Gladio B. Oh, it's a playlist, so it's not embedding, but that's not exactly a grand unified conspiracy theory, but quite some interesting info.
Yeah. I have a question. Is anti-medicine just poison? I don't get it.
Well, the theory is that the medicine that pharmacists give you actually are intended to make you sick, to keep you weak or enslaved or whatever. Right? I don't know, Baph, do you have anything on?
No.
It's kind of hard to...
What do you have anything on?
You.
Got him.
Let me read what it says on X. Some, many, all medicines keep us sick longer, makes us more susceptible to illness, makes us weaker in general, to either exploit us for profit, keep... Oh, actually, here's a thread called Make Your Own Conspiracies, so let's make up our own conspiracies, and one of them is anti-medicine.
Oh no. Yikes. Okay. Ethnopsychiatry. Got anything on this, Baph?
I just finished the next one. I thought Boson had this one here.
Oh, alright.
Alright, well, no, I got it. I can take a look at it. Ethnopsychiatry is the study of mental illness in a cross-cultural perspective, including its definitions, blah, blah, blah. So if Papua New Guinean tribesman says he is being plagued by disease-bearing ghosts, the treatment will follow along without question. This has led to some tricky situations and unusual outcomes for practitioners. Now, there's a Vimeo.
Psychiatry is the study of mental... doesn't sound too well.
You're reading the exact same post I am, Rita.
No, there was I thought you were reading from the website from earlier. There's like multiple definitions for it.
It's interesting, I guess, but it's just like instead of treating people with normal psychiatry, it's treating them in the way that like their culture would, which is weird. So like it said, if some tribesman said he was being plagued by a ghost, they would be like, okay, there's a ghost. What should we perform an exorcism? I guess begs in the question of the nature of mental illness, but I don't know. It's not much of a conspiracy theory.
Yeah. Alright, Baph. Floating cities.
So I think this one was referring to the couple of years ago. A video was circulating about a floating city in China. Anyone remember that?
I do. It's fake.
It is fake. I couldn't find any other reference to this, so I'm just gonna assume that it's referring to China. And if that's fake, I think we're done with this.
Yikes. Hellwood.
I can't find anything on this other than like I think it has something to do with Jewish mysticism, but it'd just be four plebs for it.
Wait.
I've never heard of it.
I think it in reference to Hollywood. No? Oh, here we go. The Druids were tree worshippers, especially the oak. The holly was their most sacred symbol because it was sacred to their mother Hole, or Hel, the Norse goddess of the underworld. Thus, we have Hole, or Hollywood, or Hellwood, the place of magic, and home of the Illuminati's mass propaganda and conditioning machine in California. Hollywood was a favorite source of magic wands. And then, I can't put that up. Yeah, it seems to be related to Hollywood. That's about it. Unless you boys can find something else.
About Hellwood, I haven't found anything.
Crazy.
Oddly enough, this is from a poll poster.
Well, wait, hold on. If you just Google it, it says Hellwood is like Jewish for place of magic, and they say that that's the origin of the name Hollywood. Therefore, demons.
I've never heard of Hellwood, though.
How are they spelling it?
Like it is on the Iceberg, HEL dash.
Let's see, others I keep finding something different. Okay.
Like, I can't find any Kabbalic references to Hellwood. It doesn't appear anywhere in the Ari's writings nor teachings. And, I don't want to make an appeal to authority, but I've read all of his shit a lot. I don't know. I think that Rynox gave us our explanation.
Oh, it was a quote from David Icke. Children of the Matrix.
Oh my god.
So the next one would be... I'm gonna screw up pronouncing this. Facius Cardin's Visitors?
It's an alien thing. I'm trying to find a good source on.
Yeah, we're gonna.
While you're waiting, have a nice picture, apparently relating to the event that someone made.
Oh, is this the DeviantArt? Yeah, I found that. It's a nice pic.
It's a nice picture. What am I even looking at? What the heck? I can't wait for the other one. We're probably not going to find anything on it.
Maybe, maybe not.
How did you guys get pushed all the way down to gaming and tabletops? Who are you trying to avoid?
This is where we usually have the.
I found
This voice chat has been going all day, so it's been a while.
Iceberg time.
Iceberg time, buddy.
Iceberg.
I have nothing to talk about, so I'm just listening.
Alright, that's all I got.
When I had completed the customary rites, at about 20th hour of the day, 7 men duly appeared to me, clothed in silken garments, resembling Greek togas, and wearing, as it were, the undergarments beneath their glistening and ruddy breastplates seemed to be wrought of crimson, and were of extraordinary glory. Nonetheless, all were not dressed in this fashion, but only 2 who seemed to be of noble rank than the other. Boson, there were 7. He left no records as to whether their heads were covered. They were about 40 years of age. When asked who they were, they said that they were men composed, as it were, of air, and subject to birth and death, whose truth their lives are much longer than ours, might have been reached to 300 years duration, yada yada. Question the immortality of our soul. This is straight from the source, by the way. His son wrote this, Jerome Karbon. When my father asked them why they did not reveal treasures to men if they knew where they were, they answered that it was forbidden by a peculiar law under the heaviest penalties for anyone to communicate this knowledge. They remained with my father for 3 hours, but when he questioned them as to the cause of the universe, they were not agreed. The tallest of them denied that God had made the world from eternity. On the contrary, God created it from moment to moment. So yeah, some like Monk in the early days had 7 weird. People think they're aliens. Weird.
This is some deep esoteric shit. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Alright, I guess we'll keep it.
Did the person who posted this picture on DeviantArt leave a source?
No, I don't think so. Then again, I didn't come up with the image. Baph did.
Yeah, I asked.
Oh, I better switch
And
so that
he is not responding.
he's
So I guess
gone.
we're-
Baph? Yeah, guess we're moving on.
Just reading stuff.
Yeah.
North Korea run by the CIA.
Funny thing about that, the only thing I can think of properly is that, when was it? Last year? When there was talks with the, when everyone thought that the world was going to go into the Third World War because of, Donald Trump and, Kim Jong-un talking about nuclear war. or just talking about nukes in general. At some point, what was it? Oh yeah, their nuclear testing facility or research lab suddenly collapsed in a cave-in. And then immediately after, or before that, the CIA, one of the CIA directors came over and talked with some top North Korean representatives. And they heard him out on that, apparently. That's the main thing, at least, that I remember from last year. As for actual official statements, most of it's just intelligence and analysis. In 1950, the CIA parachuted in North Korea some of its Korean agents it had trained until sometime in the 1970s. During the 1950s, hundreds of agents were sent on a mission to establish resistant networks in North Korea.
All
I'm
right.
not sure about them controlling it, but they certainly have dirt on them.
Well, the CIA has dirt on everyone. You can't run from the CIA. Nazi Bell.
That's D-Glock, Baph, I'm sure you know.
Yeah, and it's one of the it's 15-year-old, like, I'm going into my Nazi phase bait. To those of you who are not familiar, it ties in with UFO bullshit. As the name implies, it's a bell-shaped craft that was allegedly built by the Nazis, a machine relating to Nazi occultism that had anti-gravity capabilities and a means to turn animal tissues into crystal just by being near them. There's no blueprints for this thing. There's no documents about this thing. It basically came out of some Polish dude's schizo journal in the 90s.
All right.
So,
all right.
0 out of 10. It's not even worth looking into, but there is some cool art about it.
Oh, all right. Based. Froon and Kramer's final photo.
Hold on, I have the actual photo here. I have to find. I believe it's this. If you recall, Chris Kramers and Lisanne Froon were Dutch students who died on shortly after April 4th while hiking in Panama. You know these girls.
Yep, I know. Yep, I've seen this photo.
Bunch of shit like cartel connections and whatnot. It's a very deep rabbit.
That's just the two girls, right?
This isn't the one where all they found was like the remains of one of their feet, right?
They found a pelvis as well.
Their cause of death could not be determined. After extensive search, portions of their bodies were found a few months later. Their cause of death could not be determined definitely, but Dutch authorities thought it likely the students had accidentally... circumstances,
what was the
disappearance.
Cartel connections? I'd never heard.
Well, there are all kinds of theories as to what happened to them, one of which purports that a drug cartel had abducted them.
Yeah, go look into the cab driver who took them to the Mirador the day they disappeared and who was mysteriously burned.
Did you guys know that while they were being searched for, the area that they were in actually had been searched, but it was overlooked. It had not been searched well enough, so they were still alive while they were being searched for in the same area, but they just did not find them.
They found, so apparently they found traces of phosphorus in their remains, and someone on phosphorus is used as an additive in cocaine, but I guess it's some organ trafficking locals hired by a cartel kept leading them in the wrong direction, waiting for them to die, but following them closely. Only Kramer's bones were bleached. After Froon left Kramer's body, the traffickers took Kramer's body and took out her vital organs, bleached her bones. They most likely got Froon's organs as well, but didn't have time to bleach her bones because the search party were getting too close. That's why a villager found Creamer's backpack neatly packed, and both girls' bodies showed no signs of traumatic.
They had a fractured foot.
Alright.
That's where the authority fall theory comes from. That one of them took a fall and the other one simply failed to carry them back to civilization within the allotted time.
Or I think this was all. I don't remember if this was their last photo or the one of the girls their last photo.
No,
but was definitely-
this image is the last photo taken, and it's a series of images taken at night. It's evident that one of them tried using a camera to maneuver in the dark of the forest.
Or to mark their pathway so that the bodies could be found.
Yeah.
Oh, that stuff on the left-hand side looks like a hand a little bit.
Yes, this is a picture of where the friend's body was.
Yeah.
Or was supposed to have been.
Where do you see a hand?
Uh,
Oh, I see. Oh, wow, you're right.
yeah.
Oh, God. Yikes.
It's
I did hear a theory that something about the minerals in the water where their bones were found and the sunlight in that area, that would have just naturally bleached the bone. And that's the explanation for that part.
I don't know. I think it's pretty likely that they had died in the forest and that animals had just simply been pecking away at their carcasses, which is why a majority of their body is missing.
Yeah.
I can understand the reasoning as to why people would want it to be a cartel, though. Everyone would like a little more satisfying explanation as to why these two random innocent people had died so suddenly, but I honestly think that this is an accident. Nonetheless, still a capulating
How did
story.
phosphorus get in their body?
Because you have that in your body to begin with.
Not that much.
Well, who knows? They could have been taking some kind of drug, but we can't dwell on this forever. That's for Season 2. The Shining Brain Beetle.
I can't find anything.
The only thing I could that was substantial in any way was this.
Huh.
You can interpret it any way that you want.
Oh, I remember.
I have no idea what.
There was a movie that came out with a bunch of different people that, just random people that were allowed to be in this little documentary, and they said, "Oh, well, I think that the movie's this, this, and this," and they started saying random crap.
You mean Room 234?
That's it. Yeah.
I love that documentary. What's wrong with that documentary? Sit down and watch that for movie night. Earth has 2 moons. Do we really even have to do this one?
Well, the explanation is Earth has 2 moons locked in orbit behind each other. Explains why footage is missing. Explains why we only see one side of the moon.
What?
That being said, if you actually start Googling the phrase, it auto-completes moon in really bold text.
No. We're just gonna keep moving on. Black Snake Prophecy.
That sounds interesting. Oh, there's a Reddit post. Based on a vision from Black Elk, some guy named Lakota, who dreamt of an apocalyptic black snake crossing a mighty river. The snake crossed the river. This would be the sign, the beginning of the end of the world. The snake was somehow prevented from crossing. It is a sign of a new age of peace and cooperation. In the vision, the black snake is killed by a hawk and an eagle, which some take as a sign of racial cooperation. Stories surfaced in response to Standing Rock protests against the DAPL. Some are saying that we are on the cusp of a new era or the end of one. A bunch of different Native American elders are saying that.
Alright, so on X it lead me to this article about the 7 fires prophet. And if you look at the 5th fire, it looks like some weird, like, AI generated shit. Hold on. Let me copy paste it. Shit, hold on. It's too long.
Alright. Let me copy this link. Paste it so that way I can show
Okay, yeah, here we go.
There we go.
U.S. population additions appended as sections of factors is encouraged. This is an OT. New sickness, dualism, regulatory imbalance, cases, allocation of and heavy demand, deep states of removal, rising stress ailments, clarity of sight, faith, greater prophecy, beginning years of prophetic time in many cultures. Just some weird shit. I don't know.
Yeah? That's some weird shit. Karen Wildgrave.
I got some screenies. She's
Please post.
she's a Facebook schizo. What's remarkable about her, however, is that she does this for basically 15 hours a day. Notice in the screenshot that all those posts have comments. Yeah, those are all hers, and they're all done back to back, minute by.
What the fuck?
I forget on this. Can you, what exactly are the comments in there?
Let's see. Here's one of them, and these 2 walls of text were posted within a minute of each other.
Jesus.
There have been theories that it's not a real person, that it's a word salad designed to be decrypted, like a sort of Facebook type number station.
Keep saying the George Waldegrave keep coming up. Waldegrave Cal of MI6. Are you sure it might not necessarily be that instead of...
It could be. Certainly looks like it to a degree.
I think it might be mechanical, like it's a machine.
George Waldegrave, 4th Earl of Waldegrave.
I'll try to post more.
Where does she quote-unquote live?
Toronto, Canada. I really don't know why her PFP is black and white, but I'll post.
Professor Johnson, PhD, Cornell University, Imperial Russia. He is or was with the CIA before he took out exclusive Canadian citizenship in 1997, 1998. It's likely.
Why do all these people lead back to fucking Canada? What's wrong with your country, Coupon?
Well, what specifically do you want to know was wrong?
Everything. Starting with immigration.
She's got an influx of Americans.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, AI in a box is a philosophical musing similar to that of brain in a jar, only for AIs. Am I wrong on that, Baph?
Is that the vibe you get from this?
Well, I mean, let's just quickly Google it up and
Oh, that's interesting. Fake, Waldegrave could be an AI. It'd be really weird for her to be an AI, but I don't see that being any other explanation.
Also
There
sometimes
being
called
that.
an oracle AI, is a hypothetical isolated computer hardware system where a possibly dangerous artificial intelligence or AI is kept constrained in a virtual prison and not allowed to manipulate events in the external world. Such a box would be restricted to minimalist communication channels. Unfortunately, even if the box is well designed, a sufficient intelligent AI may nonetheless be able to persuade or trick its human keepers into releasing it, or otherwise be able to hack its way out of the box. You know what this is? About a year ago, Baph and I had a huge debate over whether or not artificial intelligence should be used, and
That was not a year ago. That was. Oh, it was a long time ago.
Yeah,
6 or 7 months.
Yeah,
I was there.
it's close to a year at this point. And I had posed a scenario upon which I would accept the use of an AI, and I said, well, you know, if we've got it in this box where it can't leave, and we have, like, containment protocols that specifically state any and all attempts of the AI to persuade it to be released, that person is to be, like, replaced by someone who just doesn't care, or so on and so forth.
971.
97, yep. 971, only it's real, because 971's more real than you could possibly imagine. That's what that is. We're keeping that. Steve Irwin faked his death.
It's pretty base.
Based off what? I want to hear. Based off what?
Steve loved the wild Aussie outback more than anything. Perhaps he abandoned his celebrity life in favor of a life in the wilderness he's so much loved. How is it that he was thwarted by a mere stingray? There was no coroner's report after Irwin's death. The years leading up to his death, Steve's risky actions holding his infant near a hungry crocodile, open jaws, saw him heavily criticized. Maybe he wished to escape from the constant critique of this behavior. Wildly reported that Irwin was having financial difficulties in the year leading up to his death. His wife, Terry Irwin, has received much more attention now than when Steve was alive. One theory even suggests that he disappeared almost totally for his wife's gains. I'm not sure if that's necessarily faking them.
Yeah, I better say, I'm gonna black this. It just seems ridiculous. The only ever... I've seen a lot of this before, and it normally comes down to people not understanding that, yes, stingrays can actually kill you. It's incredibly rare, like what it happened to Steve Irwin, but they do have the potential to do so. Favcane.
It's actually Fakane, and let me preface this by saying, although this story is about a schizophrenic woman named, it's in no relation to the Fae that we have here at RPC.
What a disappointment.
Fakane is the name of a schizophrenic homeless who ran a GeoCities blog in the early 2000s about her very strange rape and sex fantasies, and just generally her insane ramblings about in caves and shit. Here's an archive from her blog. or upper block, which you can see is titled Mating Instinct, the Astrophysics Fucks. I put the ass back in Iceberg. I don't recommend scrolling down too far because there's some NSFW content on them.
Oh no, Mew!
Well, it's a good thing I'm not recording that screen, so...
There's an image, and I'll tell you, it's an image captioned, an older photo of Michael with his dick.
What? Who is this man? Why does he look like a rapist?
I don't know why he's holding a guitar in this strange garage. While I was hiding in my cave, we were a real genuine community that cared about each other. When Mary was beat up by her drug addict boyfriend, one of you drove from Texas to Shreveport to rescue her, and another of you paid for the game. Oh, jeez.
Okay, then. Interesting. To say the least.
Yeah.
China never went communist. Blacked.
Well, maybe Baph has something to say.
Not really.
Yeah. Vanishing Lake, Hampshire.
Vanishing Lake, Hampshire. Let me look.
A World of Vanishing Lakes by the Smithsonian. I don't think that's quite what we're looking for, though. Oh wow. Okay, nothing there.
Did someone fucking auto-loop the, campfire?
I guess.
I did.
I would say that was definitely a loop stop.
I will say this, though, about Fakane. Even though we moved on, that picture on the Fakane blog does kind of look like Phelan. A little bit.
I've never seen a picture of Phelan.
Would you agree with me that looks a little bit...
No.
Well, with shorter hair, obviously. But...
No, Phelan's eyes are bigger.
Yeah, you're...
And if that's what Phelan looks like, not that bad.
It's not. It's not what Phelan looks like. He has bigger eyes.
Pyramids encoded. Pyramids equal encoded Arabic text.
Well, Judge Boyd, did you find anything about Vanish?
I did not. Did you?
No. Okay, so...
Yeah.
Nothing.
I got nothing.
Deeper we get, the big old nothings we get. WKCR 1995 intrusion.
Alright, now, I know this is going to sound gay. I don't think there's any way to describe it other than listening to this.
Oh, I think I remember this.
Oh.
I don't want to listen to this, but we're gonna have to. For the good of the stream.
There is a comment down below that gives you timestamps that you can click on, and if you don't want to listen to the whole thing, just listen.
Oh.
So creepy. We're gonna speed this up because we can't spend 5 minutes on this.
No, there's a comment underneath if you scroll down that has timestamps that you can click on for the specific moments where shit.
Soft gasp. Female reading out obituaries. Voices begin to multiply and get quieter and whisper. Okay, nice. Thank you so much.
You're tuned to WKCR FM New York, 89.9 on your dial. Colombian music is running a little late. It will be starting in a few minutes.
Lovely. Yes, who can forget the intrusion? Hemisync gateway manuals.
Yeah, I've been able to find no extra information about it other than people saying it happened. Isn't that weird? It did happen, and it is weird, so
Oh, I think he moved on.
I was watching the video.
Yeah, no, I was trying to...
Keep moving on without...
I'm sorry. The major discussion parts are for season 2. We're just supposed to be sifting.
Oh, I found something from Scribd. Oh, there's a directory. Caution, these tapes may not be used while driving. Use only with your doctor's permission if you are taking psychotropic medication or are engaged in therapy. Your doctor may call our professional division with any questions. Do not use tapes with any indication of epilepsy. Published by the Monroe Institute. Directory, Advanced Focus 10, Discovery 3, Adventure Wave 4, Biobody Prospecting, Brain Power, Color Breathing, Comments from Robert A. Monroe, Threshold number 4, On Point Adventure number 6, Discovery Wave 1, Encoding Instructions, Energy Bar Tool, Energy Food, Energy Walks, Exploration Sleep, Exploring Far Reaches, First Stage Separation, 5 Messages, 5 Questions, Focus 12, Overview, Free Flow Methods of Exploration, Free Flow 10, Free Flow 12, and Freedom. Wave number 3. Ooh, even more. Apparently it's some sort of online course.
Alright.
Some Redditors says that it's actually pretty fantastic and easily helps them as a sort of foot in the door sort of gateway experience.
So, my friend is a huge advocate of this theory. Every time we start talking about conspiracy theories, he just goes on about how the Titanic didn't actually sink. Like,
Did it sink, Sinet?
I'm pretty sure it sank. Alright? I'm pretty sure it sank.
We're not having this discussion.
Why?
Have you heard, Sinaticus, of the book called A Wreck of the Titan?
No. Well, you see.
Published in 1904, several years before the Titanic. Events described in the book match the sinking almost to a T.
As you
including
can see,
the
Sinaticus, as was tradition of the time to name the largest ship of the fleet after Titan, a Greek figure, the busiest trade lane on Earth, with the single most dangerous hazard, the one and only the iceberg, or it happened in real life as well as fiction. How weird. Even though the chances of that happening are incredibly high.
Second, let me just.
It's like predicting a car crash on I-95, like no shit.
Exactly 400 nautical miles from Newfoundland.
Yeah, the
exact
middle,
longitude and
yeah, the
latitude.
middle point of the journey. Yeah,
It's not the exact middle point of the journey.
no, but it's the exact geographic middle point, and the reason that's spooky because that's the point of no return. The ship is the furthest away from 2 points. It makes good fiction.
It isn't though. It's not the center of the lane.
It's the geographic line.
Point is, you can actually go down and see the wreckage. It definitely sank.
Well, have you?
No, I haven't, but I've seen more than enough videos that show it.
I've seen more than enough videos of all kinds of shit happening that I don't believe it.
Well, that's just on you, Skizzo.
Oh yeah, I saw Die Hard too. I don't think that really happened.
I'm sorry, Boson. There's just too much proof.
I saw Die Hard too, and I
I don't
think
know. I've seen videos of UFOs. I'm pretty sure those were real because they're videos, right?
Well,
I've seen it.
UFOs do exist. They're called unidentified objects. They don't entail anything, though.
Hold on, let me find the video for you.
Even regardless, since you don't have an ulterior theory to back it up, it's just conjecture. I'm sure the living relatives of the people who died would like to have a word.
Can you name?
Probably look them up, yeah.
What was that?
I mean, shit, with the Titanic movie, they had that woman who survived the ship.
Yeah, the movie that was also fictional.
I guess the 9/11 movie is fictional.
Yeah, it is.
It's actually not. It's literally called non-fiction. It's a non-fiction movie. You freaking.
The Titanic movie is not non-fiction.
It actually is. It was actually a live recording of the event.
Okay, that's true. Yeah, he's got me there. Sinaticus, don't black.
I'm not. No, I am blacking that Titanic didn't sink because it did. Like I said,
Have you guys heard of Catherine Galang?
No.
Catherine was aboard the Titanic when she was 16 years old and had no fucking clue what was going on. She got onto a lifeboat, just kind of walking around, got into a lifeboat following people. They got picked up by another boat a little bit later, and she was like, "Oh, I don't know. I thought we were just there already. I didn't know anything bad was happening."
Yikes. See? Case closed. Titanic sank. Moving on. U.S. mega regions.
I don't know how you're that much of an idiot to like, not see the people screaming for your spot on the lifeboat.
This was actually like no memes interesting. Are you gonna post the picture, Ben?
Yeah, I have it. The best one.
Alright.
So, Sinaticus, what does this image convey to you?
Mega cities?
Very close, yeah. Contained within these 11 regions is 237 million.
So most of the U.S. population.
A vast majority of the U.S. population. And also some of Canada. Thanks, Koopa.
So, let's see here.
Well, most
America
of Canada,
2050,
remember. 99% of them live underneath that line.
Hey, retard. Speaking. Don't let me say the N-word or they cut the stream. America 2050, a project, lists 11 megaregions in the U.S. Let's see. Why did they do this? Because the concept is based on the original Megapolis model. So the idea is, in the inevitable future, these areas will be self-serving. Well, not really self-serving, but they'll just be 100% of Americans will live in these areas in due time. With the way economies of scale work, with the way prices and housing and shit works, most people are going to live in these blobs by 2050. That's the theory.
With housing works?
Yeah, it's getting like less and less people, or we're seeing this upward trend where people are moving to cities, and almost no one stays in the country. So these mega regions keep getting bigger as suburbs and urban towns, which connect to cities, get bigger and bigger. Look at that Midwest. Those aren't all cities, but they're all interconnected. Just big blob of concrete and Sheetz gas stations.
Thank you for your quantitative assessment. Can we get back to what's objectively true about the mega region?
It is objectively true. That's the idea.
I'm seeing a lot of cities actually in the Midwest.
That big blue mega region down at the bottom definitely dips into Virginia there. So.
And what do you mean by that? What do you mean biased? It's the whole map. What do you mean?
They've done the same things for other countries, but the Iceberg specifically says USA mega.
And I've only talked about the USA.
I'm talking to Judge Boy, where he says it's a bit biased because it's only the U.S.
Oh no,
the Iceberg calls for USA mega region.
Yeah, no, I was talking about Baph, and then you
right then. Massachusetts Flying Giant.
So I'm pretty sure this refers to the Thunderbird sighted in Massachusetts, which relates to an entity. I say entity, a species of bird discovered known as Argentavis magnificens. I'm sure I've mentioned it before. It's quite a big boy.
Isn't this the image we used for the Thunderbird theory as well?
Yeah, that's why I said I'm pretty sure the Massachusetts Flying Giant is the Thunderbird.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure too.
Which means it's a cryptid, but...
yeah, but we already have Thunderbird non-blacked. If it's just a dual entry, we're gonna black the dual entry.
That's not fair. You can't do that.
What?
You have like 15 dual entries probably cryptid. You don't get to decide what's a dual entry.
Fine, we'll keep it. Fucking retarded ass dual entries.
Shut up.
Look, this area of the iceberg says nothing but Thunderbird, but since we don't block dual entries, you're just gonna have a block of Thunderbirds.
I'd be okay with that.
Like, third entry reads out like a Connecticut area giant flying lizard, and it's just an image of the Thunderbird. Poisonous snow.
Found this news article. And the idea is that apparently people across the US keep finding snow that will not melt, and apparently it's been giving off a strange smell, something like generalized chemicals.
Well, you think that'd be on TikTok if that were true?
Yeah, maybe.
I use TikTok as my main news source.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. We'll keep it just because it's interesting, though. Yeah, do a deeper investigation on it. Phantom social workers.
This one is actually kind of creepy. It refers to Pajogo posted it. It refers to a phenomenon in the UK and the US that go around claiming to be social workers trying to abduct children. It's just really strange.
Wasn't there
Police investigations into these reports failed to find any substantial evidence or locate any sign.
Yeah. You think that ties into Pizzagate?
It very well could, but here's one thing. In the early 90s reports, in some versions of the story, visits included a woman accompanied by a man who seemed to be acting in a supervisory role. Visits consisted of an inspection of the children in the household, during which the social workers displayed strange behavior. Claims about the nature of these examinations fed concerns that children were being sexually abused. It would be interesting if they came in like pairs too, because it's like, that means that there's definitely an organized effort to abduct the children rather than it just being like a guy using it as a way to, just like one pedophile being like, I want to abduct children, so I'll pretend to be a social worker. No, if it's more than one at once, that implies that there's definitely organization.
Well,
That's very concerning.
the thing is that I remember looking into a lot of pedophile dog whistles. One of the classes I taught to my students was, relative safety. And so I sat down and I taught them about a lot of the stuff pedophiles do. It was part of my dark reality model for lessons. And so I had to sit down and I had to actually, read about pedophile cases, and more frequently than not, when it's organized like this, they are working in pairs. They do work as a group, and they do tend to communicate as groups.
It sounds a lot like, almost like a X-Files plot, honestly. Although most of the times whenever that happened, it's usually something supernatural, like, oh, this angel or that angel wants it or something.
Hell yeah, man. X-Files is based. Big marijuana.
I don't know that. Bubble, what do you have on this one? What do you have on this? You're an expert.
What is it? I'm not what's the chart say?
Big marijuana.
Chart proves to a conspiracy. Chart proves to a conspiracy known as big marijuana. What do you have to say about big marijuana? Thank you for your testimony.
All I could find was a 2013 CNN article.
Marijuanas.
Yeah, Baph.
The only thing I could find was like a 2013 CNN article that's just bitching about big marijuana being a future concern. I think they were referring to like a corporation or something, I don't.
As a single mom of 3, I'm very worried about big weed.
Coupon. I didn't know you
Coupon, what would you do if you caught your children smoking weed?
I'd call the police. There's nothing else to do.
I'd call the phantom social workers to
children.
Not the Yadas.
Get them, the big weeds got them, help, officer.
I'd call the police and get them sentenced to the rape penalty.
I can't believe I didn't vaccinate you for this.
They have to learn their lesson.
You see, but that's a reference only we're gonna get. I didn't record me doing that.
Fuck you. I wanted to make a... I don't care about the viewer. The viewer can go fuck.
Thank you, B. I am now going to mute you for the remainder of this recording. And,
oh, come on! Don't do that.
Fred Beak's version.
Alright, get this, Sinaticus. I'm gonna have to mute Bubble too, cause
Yeah?
Listen, Sinaticus, get this. The Fred Beaks version is the story of Ape Canyon, which is, get this, a story about Bigfoot.
Yep.
We're just not gonna escape Bigfoot. There is no escaping the Bigfoot.
The Ape Canyon was reportedly the site of a violent encounter in 1924 between a group of miners and a group of ape men. These it might have just been black people actually, but these allegations were reported July 16, 1924. Fred Beck, one of the miners, claimed they shot and possibly killed at least one of the creatures, precipitating an attack on their cabin, during which the creatures bombarded the cabin with rocks and tried to break it.
Oh, is this the white?
Wait, hold on. Beck detailed his claims in a 22-page booklet written in 1967 in which he identified the creatures as mystical beings from another dimension, explaining that he experienced psychic premonitions and visions of his entire life, of which the ape men were only one.
Is this the one where they found metallic goo by the fence and they brought the police there to like help them shoot at the creatures?
What?
What are you even talking about, Coupon?
That sounds interesting, though.
If you could find us that story, that sounds infinitely more.
Yeah, I'm about to say, if you could find us that story, yeah, you want.
Sorry, I didn't hear the first part of it.
You know what, Coupon?
Are you talking about aliens?
No.
Well, Fred Beck's version.
Okay,
of
I'm
events
talking
that we're
about
discussing.
aliens.
Well, listen,
That sounds interesting, though.
What we're discussing is Fred Beck's version of the attacks, in which he states that the Bigfoots were interdimensional and pelted his cabin with rock.
Imagine, like, being bullied by interdimensional beings. That's fun.
Interdimensional Bigfoots. Get it right.
Now, whether or not you believe they are interdimensional, there is one special event that happened there that isn't, and that's the disappearance of Jim Carter.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Like President,
Carter's complete disappearance is an unsolved mystery. Hold on. Listen to the news. The news article states Carter's complete disappearance is an unsolved mystery to this day. Dr. Otto Trott, Lee Stark, and I finally came to the conclusion that the apes got it.
So they were black.
No.
Oh my god.
I just want to keep this on black just because it's fucking.
Oh no, we're keeping this. We're gonna go back to this during season 2. Coupon, I want to hear about this whole goo thing though.
I've almost got it all up.
All right. The Invisible War. Whilst we wait for Coupon.
Oh wait, no, I think it's right here.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Never mind.
So, the Kelly Hopkinsville alien encounter. One of the most significant and well-documented cases of. So, on the evening of August 21st, 1955, 5 adults and 7 children arrived at the Hopkinsville police station claiming that small alien creatures from a spaceship, were attacking their farmhouse and they had been holding them off with gunfire for nearly 4 hours. 2 of the adults, Elmer Sutton and Bill Ray Taylor, claimed they had been shooting at 12 to 15 short, dark figures who repeatedly propped up the doorway or peered into windows. Concerned about a possible gun battle between local citizens, the men were both very drunk. A bunch of police and military men, like, it looks like 10 of them at least, drove out to the farmhouse to check it out. They pretty much saw nothing, and the next day the entire family had packed up and left, claiming that their creatures had all returned at 3:30 in the morning. They found some sort of metallic goo during the search of the area, and the most likely explanation is that great horned owls had been flying at their house, and they were just really bad shots and really drunk.
Wow.
Whoa.
So
What's up?
they never found out what the goo was then?
No.
They never, like, investigated the goo?
They never investigated the goo.
It was 1955, Thermic.
Oh, that's... Oh.
I am calling the police right now and exclaiming that they never investigated. I can't believe it.
You didn't investigate my alien goo.
Investigate the goo.
Goo game. Hashtag Goo game. Investigate.
Apparently,
the goo.
like, they were in the home, and then the claws of the animals were scratching on the windows from above. Stuff like that.
It's really weird behavior for an owl.
Yeah.
Apparently it could have been, like, baby season, and they were being really aggressive about the nest.
Maybe the goo was mercury, and like it somehow was brought by someone and just left there.
Crazy.
Oh, supposedly the sound of the bullets striking the creatures resembled bullets striking a metal bucket.
Maybe.
So wait, the possibility could be that these are like metallic aliens that like bleed metallic blood.
Yes, that's most likely. Thank you, Thermic.
That also looked like owls.
That also look like owls somehow.
Yeah, there's a picture in Movie Night.
Yes, that's them.
Well, fuck.
The Invisible?
I believe this is one of the ones where it was, they were reported as white, and then somewhere along the line, the news articles changed it to and that kind of popularized part of where little gray aliens came from.
Alright.
Go.
I'm glad we got that little bonus. What's the Invisible War? Is this the whole,
Judge,
like...
do you have any?
Go on.
It's so vague that I can't find anything between. Could be
As much as I'm sure that it's about like aliens or some shit, I'd really want it to be about something like the Gulf War or something. Where it's like a war that the
That's
US is
immediately
fighting.
what I thought too. I thought it was like, is this some kind of Gulf War shit?
I think the Invisible War refers to the shit the CIA does on the DL that you'll never hear about. Because I remember that terminology being used, that they refer to the CIA at some points as the Invisible Army, so that would make sense in
The Korean War was called the Hidden War at some point, though, mostly because no one talked about it. Even when they came back.
Yeah, because it gets overshadowed by the Vietnam.
Yeah. I guess we'll just have to black it because it's too vague. Ah, I seem to have lost my track. There it is. The Abraxas Foundation.
This one is a real huge rabbit hole.
Please explain, because I didn't find anything of fruitfulness.
I did. Yeah. So, a figure named Boyd Ryder. Let me get him pulled up here one second.
Here's a supposed place where it is.
Yeah, he was a experimental noise musician in the 70s, very early 70s. He was friends with two figures you might recognize, Charles Manson and Anton LaVey.
Oh!
With which he created a think tank called the Abraxas Foundation. The organization promoted authoritarianism, totalitarianism, misanthropism, elitism, and anti-democratic. Had overlap with the Church of Satan, the organization founded by Anton LaVey. That's the extent to the publicly available knowledge, I guess. The other, I can't really find anything else about the Abraxas Foundation specifically, but it was a think tank that Boyd ran that included Manson and Anton LaVey.
All right.
Yeah. If there are other connections, maybe. I would leave it open so we can dig deep into it later.
Yeah, I'm about to say, this sounds like a Season 2 episode. The Little Red Men of Paris.
I have it.
Hey.
Oh, so let's see here.
While you dig that up, I will quickly be right back.
But I have it. What do you mean? I get. Okay. So this refers to a ghost, just a red, shimmering, formless ghost that has residence in Paris. It's mentioned in scores of books, official records, and even Napoleon's personal diary. And, for example, Catherine de Medici, who is a French politician, I guess, directly reported the creature in her diary as well, citing in bad omen. Now, historians have cited that it's probably a metaphor for something, but let's see. I mean, shit. Henry IV talked about it as something fearful, so I don't think it's It's weird. It's this weird thing. European monarchs and politicians constantly talk about this red ghost.
I always find the Little Bit Random Paris interesting because it's something that's corroborated by fucking like Napoleon, who's at least a somewhat respected figure. So it's just
Yeah, so in 1798, the red-hued entity first appeared to Napoleon during the military leader's Egyptian campaign. He wrote that it appeared before him next to his ambitious officers, informing them that they would have victory in this campaign for the next decade. However, very little follow-up information exists in his diaries regarding this. It was like this thing he wrote about once or twice, but then never talked about again.
Must have just been common knowledge. That's weird.
Yeah, so apparently the ghost just predicted the Egyptian campaign. In 1824, the ghost's last reported appearance occurred when Louis XV lay dying in Torelli's palace, reported by a servant woman.
Is there any reports of what that cat looks like?
Pardon?
Wait,
Cat?
is it?
What? A cat? Question mark?
Okay, there's a demon cat in the White House that appears apparently a couple days before every major national disaster.
I haven't heard of that, but this is that'd be similar.
I'm sorry, I am getting sidetracked.
I mean, we could take a look at that cat too. Hold up, let me just put Demon Cat in here.
Isn't it interesting that every time like Rube or anyone else tries to meander the iceberg, Sinaticus gets really angry, but when Coupon does it, he's like, "Yeah, let's go on, let's do it."
What? No. Shut up.
You got mad at Rube for this.
No, I genuinely thought that you said cat, and then it's you said that it appeared before a major national disaster, or like warned of one or something. So that's where my mind.
What got me annoyed about what Rube was doing is that she kept telling us what this reminded her about, and we're like, yeah, that's the whole iceberg. No. Shut up, Boson.
That's a good rebuttal.
Moving on. The white sand mutants.
I can't find anything.
The most I could find was that there are a lot of species of lizards that mutated white skin in that area, which the lizards don't normally have. But that's really it's really tame for an iceberg conspiracy theory, especially this low. So.
All right. Cool. The 1962 Pensacola incident. Oh, that's white. What am I doing?
Florida sea serpent is the first thing that comes up.
I have the sketch here. Basically, a bunch of kids went out in a dinghy and hit a storm, and then were attacked by something, and then 2 of them died, and 1 swam to shore and drew this.
All right.
It does look kind of silly, but 2 kids died. So.
All right. Well, it appears as though we simply just can't escape. Men wearing plaid shirts - Bigfoot wearing plaid shirts.
Baph, what do you have to say about plaid? Oh, he fell asleep. He fell asleep.
Yeah, he fell asleep.
No, I just don't care about Bigfoot.
Well, I want to know about men wearing plaid shirts.
Ask your boy.
What do you ask?
Is that not you, Baph? Baph?
He's like half asleep, I swear to God.
Ask Judge Boy, cunt.
Judge Boy?
I was looking around and I did find something.
Oh, you actually found something for this. Please tell.
I think it's the same site that you found that the Pensacola incident.
Well, I found Pensacola on X, but what have you?
One of the strangest pieces of evidence which was posted on the internet in support of M.K. Davis's Bigfoot massacre and cover-up goes back.
Oh, hey, we're tying it in. We're tying it in.
Oh no!
Is what you got with a series of pictures of Robert Patterson holding the 1967 Bigfoot that casts. He appears to have seriously mislabeled once again, with the use of his lines and arrows comments, well-known photographs to create a conspiracy. Oh. This isn't... Take the one on the right labeled Dahinden's camera. The image is being presented to the world as primary evidence to support Davis's implications of something which never happened. According to long-term research from the likes of Christopher Murphy and others, these images were taken at Bluff Creek. They are on the second film roll. Given the second film roll was not sent with the first film roll, the images are taken in sunlight. It rained the next day, although I suppose the sun could have come out briefly. The images are on the second roll. I am reasonably sure this roll was sent for processing, with the other roll on the evening of October 20th. The film images could not, therefore, have been taken in Yakima or anywhere else, for that matter, the next day. Alright, so it sounds like someone could have either been faking evidence, or they could have just made a general mistake. Either way, it seems to have caused this idea that there might have been a massacre, but there's no actual evidence for it. I'm not seeing anything on how this relates to bird.
I mean, this is the Bigfoot episode, so... Plastic Raindrops, 1965.
As much as I would really like for this to be a real thing, I can't find anything. Judge Boy Baph, did you two have any?
No.
What is it? Plastic Raindrops?
Yep. Plastic Raindrops.
1965. I'm not seeing anything.
Alright. Zapruder's film was faked.
This one's deep because the Zapruder film itself has a lot of inconsistencies that you can talk about for hours. But
can you name some?
So like how his head exploded from the front, even though he was shot in the back of the head. Let's see. The Washington Post, of all people, made an article about this, where they found it perhaps exceptionally too perfect that the moment of assassination happened when the camera was at its optimal spot, when it was closest to the camera, and how the entire event was masterfully caught on film, to which the filmmaker very quickly sold it to police agencies, which makes sense, obviously. But it's just this. It's this double context, right? It's the Zapruder film loaded with inconsistencies. It's the camera thing. It's Zapruder himself, and it's the fact that in recent years, Dolan Grumpy has released many files, but all of the ones pertaining to JFK at the lobby of the FBI were withheld. They're still classified. The FBI does not want them declassified.
Which leads to the fucking the copy pasta. Singular event perpetrated by a lone gunman needs redaction. Without J.
Right, so what actually happened in Dallas, for the time being, is still obscured. And when you hear Zapruder filmed was faked, it's kind of a dog whistle to just look into it. Because you could, in season 2, you can spend a whole fucking hour talking about how fucking weird that video.
Oh, trust me, we will. So we'll keep that. Sivithir of Quiche.
Alright, so this one, despite sounding very fantastical, is actually quite grounded. So Sivithir refers to Sivithirium, which is an extinct form of like giraffe-moose hybrid. And the Sivithir of Kish refers to a figurine of this animal that was found in Sumeria. Which implies that either that the animal went extinct far later than we had assumed, which was like originally like a million BC or something like. The figurine is from like 8,000 years ago.
Proofs?
The site that I have, all the images are broken, but you can see here. You could read that paper. It refers to a paper written in 1936 about it.
I don't mean to cut you off, but if you look in voice, it's RPC's one and only black user for the first time ever. Well, first time in 4.
In what channel?
Voice. Look, there he is. It's RPC's only black user.
This is a rare event. It's a good thing I got that on camera.
Are you sure it's not Bigfoot?
Now, all of these images are gone. What you've just linked, by the way.
Yeah, I said that. I'm trying to get a good one, but
Just stopping for a quick moment. Isn't that fucked that they're still keeping those documents a secret? Isn't that weird?
Yes.
It is.
Yes, it is.
Especially considering the official story is so simple. Like, you'd think that...
when the Warren Commission ended, the government said they were going to release everything within the next 10 years. And they've kept putting it off for the last 50 years. And they're not going to now. Not even Trump could get them to declassify.
So, keeping on the Civithir thing, here's a picture of a Civitherium, and here's, albeit blurry, picture of the figurine from...
Cool. Looks like a cool animal. I'd fucking ride that thing into battle. Manatees equal human offshoot. Do we really need to go over
Oh
this?
shit, I haven't been looking ahead.
I don't have anything. Baph?
No.
It seems sort of plausible, but... Hold on, I'm looking at the Wikipedia article for Manatee, and there's a section called Relation.
No.
It's gonna be about boating accidents.
Yeah, it's gonna be about boating accidents.
Oh yeah, ships. I was excited for...
I'm sorry, Boson, but people and manatees, they're not compatible. It was never meant to be, buddy.
Damn.
French claim to New Zealand.
I don't even understand that one. Originally, New Zealand was a Dutch colony, but then it was given to the Anglos. I don't know where the French fit in.
Looking through X at the moment.
The French were amongst the earlier European settlers in New Zealand and established a colony at Akaroa in the south. Captain Jean-Francois Marie de Surville, or something, is the first known Frenchman to have visited New Zealand in 1769, and by 1830s, French whalers were operating off the banks. I don't see anything about a claim on the territory, but that's what I found in it.
Alright, that sounds just like more fluff. Piltdown man still alive.
The Hilltown Man refers to a fictional human skeleton that a scientist in 1912 tried to pass off as a missing link. I don't know what they mean by it's still alive.
What do you mean? What do you mean it was?
It was a forgery. It wasn't real. He faked it.
I guess it's just fluff.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's more fluff. I think we're getting to the point of the iceberg where whoever made this unironically just put a shit ton of fluff.
I guess it wouldn't be as full as it is if there weren't some.
Yeah, but like I have a feeling that the quality of conspiracy is gonna go way down from here.
Well, we'll see.
Don't speak so soon.
Soviet
Next up, we have
Soviet hurtcore dash crush porn.
Mew, cover your.
Mew's not even here anymore.
Oh god, I don't even know if I should be looking at someone's office wife. I'm gonna leave this to you two guys.
No, it's alright, I understand.
Nose goes, man. Judge Boy, you're up.
I'll bite the bullet on it.
Just Google
look up Soviet crush porn and see what you get.
or Soviet hurt.
Nothing comes up. And of course, everyone's gonna watch me.
Try hurt.
Nothing on Hurtcore either.
Yeah.
Not even Soviet hurt.
Nope. Oh,
There's a Vice article on waiting in a red room. You see, the problem is that whenever you type in Russian conspiracy, all kinds of dumb Trump stuff comes up nowadays.
I have a Vice article inside the repulsive world of Hurtcore, the worst. Did you guys not get that?
No. Wait. Yeah.
It is a Vice article, but I'll look at.
Well,
Matthew Felder, Falder. There was another one about him, but I don't see anything about Soviets.
Yeah, I'm about to say, it looks as though this is a dead end.
Although that guy seems to somehow be a part of it. Oh, he's a producer, that's why.
Suspicious deaths of holistic doctors.
Apparently, there's a theory that like over 60 holistic doctors were died in 2016 of mysterious circumstances. June 15th, controversial Dr. Jeffrey Bradstreet was found dead in a river by a local fisherman. Just days after Georgia Clinic was raided by federal agents looking for unlicensed media treatments, on the day he was found, a Swiss clinic associated with the company that Bradstreet had frequently promoted, and which UGC Math was raided after 5 patients died by his family, not command. So this guy Bradstreet's death appears to have been the main catalyst for it, but I'm not seeing any info on any.
So, fluff.
Well, I don't know. You can. There's a Snopes article here that you can read. I don't like stoves, but this was the most info I could come up.
Yeah.
Stopes usually cites their sources. I don't know what the problem is.
Poliv's tracks.
Is it Poliv or?
I'm
Poliv?
pretty
It's Paluxy, the Y's.
Okay.
There's no Y.
The bottom of the Y is cut off. That makes it look.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, so then yeah, it is Paluxy.
There we go, dinosaur tracks.
It was a controversial tale from the 30s. It's a river in Texas. It's best known for its preservation of dinosaur tracks. However, the controversy arose when people thought they found human footprints in the same rock layer as the dinosaur tracks, which at the time gave credibility to young Earth creationists. So ever since then, people have been trying to drill it in their head that these are not human footprints, but they are distortions and either faked and sold.
Some claim it's to be giant humans.
Yeah.
Well,
some of them were fake, however, apparently. Huh. Carved by locals to sell during the Great Depression.
I mean, I really hate young Earth creationism, so.
Tip?
Well, young Earth creationists give the Fedora tippers a lot of fuel to work with to discredit religion as a whole, despite the fact that a lot of groups of people don't like it.
Yeah. Non-space. What the fuck does that even mean, non-space?
Well, I can only assume that what it actually refers to is non-place. Non-place or non-place is a neologism coined by French anthropologist yada yada to refer to an where human beings remain anonymous and that do not hold enough significance to be regarded as place. Examples of non-places would be motorways, hotel rooms, airports, and shopping.
Wait, what's the definition of non-space again?
Anthropological spaces of transience where the human beings remain anonymous and that do not hold enough significance to be regarded.
That's interesting.
The perception of space like a non-place is strictly subjective. Any given individual can view any given location as a non-place or as crossroads of human relations. The concept of a non-place... let's see if I can get a better definition. Wikipedia is not...
I'm not hearing the conspiracy theory. This just sounds like a fact.
You are such fucking faggots.
What? I'm not hearing the theory. Is it purporting that the person's identity disappears as they are inside a non-space? I don't get it.
Well, it's like thin places. You've heard of thin places?
No.
It's the idea that there are certain locations in which the reality is sort of... And I guess there's this idea that non-places are just these areas where identity and reality itself just sort of become more transient in a way. I don't know. It's a complex thing. I'm probably too retarded to understand.
I'll have to look into it.
Although some of the image results for non-places are pretty aesthetic. Describe the feelings that you feel as I post these. Describe the feelings you feel as I post these.
I don't feel anything.
Exactly.
I feel
I
nothing.
think that's the point.
Well, okay, cool. Moonless nights.
I almost couldn't find something for anything. Best I could find was Where does light come from on a moonless night?
I mean, there's still light. You know?
I mean, there isn't IMO. In my experience, if there's no moon, you can't.
Again, that's the best I could find.
There's like ambient light that travels within the universe. It's very low, yes, but there's still ambient light. The Delaware hoax.
I got Springer hoax.
Okay, so here's what I found. That there's a town in Delaware called Arden, made up of only CIA agents and mind control slings. J. Parker Bush, of Arden in Delaware. Arden is an art colony founded in 1900 by sculptor Frank Stevens and architect Will Price. Among the most notable former residents of Arden are Upton Sinclair, author of The Jungle, Harry Kempt, Ella Reeve Bloor, Scott Nearing, American radical. Ella Reeve is the founder of the Communist Party. Interesting cast of characters.
Yeah.
After that, he starts talking about Anton LaVey again, but I don't know how Anton LaVey is related to.
Why is this fucker related to everything we do? The fuck?
I'm pretty sure Anton LaVey is a Bigfoot.
Yeah, I'm about to say, we're gonna fucking come across Anton LaVey as a Bigfoot somewhere here.
I couldn't find.
We're at 2 hours and 47 minutes. Lindsay Lohan actually had a twin.
Accidentally put caps lock on halfway was infected.
Did I say accidentally? I meant to say actually. Boson.
What is it?
Did Lindsay Lohan?
I'm looking into it.
All right. Baph?
Hello.
Did Lindsay Lohan have a twin?
He's not paying the fuck attention.
No, I'm reading the next one because I know Boson's got this one.
Alright.
You know, he keeps up with his Hollywood.
Well, it's a really gay. Hold on. Oh, it's because she was in that fucking Parent Trap where they did a special effect where there's two. And they say that she had an actual twin that got murdered. Fuck off.
Push pics.
Okay. I mean, I'll admit it's a convincing special effect, but it's a special.
Yeah.
Why did they say she got murdered?
The article just says that she got murdered, and it gives no explanation or source on it whatsoever. I just say, just get rid of it. It doesn't.
Yeah. The Secret Commonwealth.
It's a book by a Gaelic scholarly minister. Apparently it's about elves, fauns, and fairies.
What about you, Baph? What do you?
Same thing, honestly. I think it's the Golden Compass. It's like a rip off of that.
Why do you keep talking about the Golden Compass? No, it's about folklore.
Oh, I see a different book then. Because I'm seeing a book here that has to do with a Trail of Dust, the Secret Commonwealth, book about demons and people.
Could be either or, maybe both. Who made it?
Let's see. Philip Pullman.
Alright, now see, the one I'm looking at is Robert Kirk. Oh, okay, there's a little footnote that says, for the Robert Kirk Pullman novel, see The Secret Commonwealth. Oh, it was published in 2019.
Then it has to be referring to something else. Because we've got this iceberg since 2018.
It must be the Robert Kirk one, then. Which has to do with folklore, witchcraft, ghosts, all that. Can't find anything. I guess the idea is that he actually saw them. Might have gone out into the wild and just start writing things down.
I think this is going to be the last one for today. Abyssal Zone Microplastics.
Oh, Baph, it's microplastics. Oh no.
Yeah, here it is. That's all I gotta know.
Yes, I actually...
How did they get there? How did they get there?
I can't believe it. The estrogen is free flow.
This is about how they found microplastics at the bottom of the Challenger Deep, right?
How did it get there, Sinaticus?
Well...
Because it sank.
I think the more important question is, how come it's not being crushed? Like all the scientists tell us it would be.
Because it's microplastics. They're tiny. What would they get crushed in? Microplastics?
I mean, it's got all that weight on top of it. You send a camera that size, it would still be crushed.
What do you... Microplastics are literally like microscopic. Just chunks of plastic. I can't believe atoms are at the bottom of the ocean, but they aren't crushed by the weight. I don't understand.
It's more like really small molecules. But yeah, it is kind of retarded.
Well...
Abyssal Zone Microplastics is a big nothing burger. I want to at least do a few.
Alright, fine. We'll do. Alright, gene pool financialization.
Okay, well, let's see what this is.
I got 4 plebs. Found something about the financialization of Ebola.
What?
See, there's an academia one for financialization of knowledge and the pooling of populations on biopolitical management of geoculture areas during the transition from industrial to bioinformatic capitalism by John Solomon. Positions Asia Critique 2019.
Yeah, this one sounds like a nothing. Natural park closures.
Did Boson find nothing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to really go through this one and cut out some dead air. We got nothing for closures either?
I have some. Apocalypse. Missing children, national park closures. Missing 411.
I will hit factor 9 without outgassing an active new cracks with steam. Tim will be full of explosions.
The whole missing forks thing is really interesting. There's a lot of weird shit going on in national parks. People disappearing, but I'm wondering what that has to do with any ones that are getting.
Oh no. Sounds like a season 2. 9/11, a Hollywood special effect gone wrong.
Baph, what do you have on that?
That one's just autistic and we should black that one.
All right. Rural relief map.
Ural. Is it
Ural.
rural or Ural? Ural. Oh, here we go. This is interesting.
First thing that came up, huh? Oh. Did you get someone making a carving on a piece of stone?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
This is a good ending one.
Yeah. That was a good.
But let's see what it.
Also called Map of the Creator. 128 million year old. Several years ago, in 1999, a team of Russian scientists stumbled upon a mysterious stone slab that was covered with a relief map of Ural region.
And how old?
Says 120 million years. And it was discovered in 1999.
So what you have there is a rock that more or less accurately maps out the area, but that would predate.
You by a long shot. So that's fucking incredible.
Who knows? Maybe maybe we had better tech back then. Maybe. Maybe.
What do you mean we? This was before human beings even evolved.
Nonsense. Maybe, just maybe, there was a giant city with 3 concentric circles. Had a giant empire.
The current idea is that we evolved in about 200 million years.
That's really? Modern intelligent humans are only estimated to have popped up 400,000 years.
But listen to this. A geological test of the slab concluded that it consisted of 3 layers, the base being 14 centimeters thick dolomite, second being a diopside glass unknown to science, while the third is a protective layer of calcium. Churyov said, "It should be noted that the relief has not been manually made by an ancient stonecutter. It is simply impossible. It is obvious that the stone was machined. X-rays confirmed it was made by precision tools. Interestingly, scientists believe that the map is actually part of a relief map of the entire world due to the crudeness of the areas around the map's perimeter." Oh, that's conjecture, but the fact that it's machined thing is really
Weird. A glass unknown to science. Wait, what?
Should drop a link, pal.
I was gonna say, drop that link. What are you doing?
sorry. Oh, he hasn't even posted a picture of it yet.
None of you have. Luckily, I looked this up on my own browser, so that way people watching the video know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I'll post it. I'll post it in movie night.
Sorry, I thought someone else already.
There.
I got me.
Note that the large portion in the middle is like thicker because they built dams there, but they say that what it looked like before the dams is pretty much accurate to the net.
Wait, what am I doing?
What are you doing?
I'll tell you what we're doing. We're wrapping up this episode at 3 hours and 1 minute.
This rock is the best thing so far.
Yeah, well,
that is true, isn't it?
Well, like I said, I have a feeling that going forward, we're gonna run into just a lot of fluff, a lot of nothing burgers, and a lot of just strange esoteric concepts that aren't really conspiracies.
Let's look back. Rex 84 was pretty good. Alexander's diving bell was somewhat interesting. The UFO witness suicides are a crazy thing.
What was the Black Snake Prophecy?
Black Snake Prophecy was extra weird. The Phone Mafia was definitely a good, because that's some weird shit. Shugborough inscription.
Around the halfway mark here, which
the
is
milk miracle. Yeah, the halfway mark of Ant Demon is where things started to get. Karen Waldegrave was a big one. Fake Kane was just schizo.
And the JFK tapes is a great opportunity for the future.
Yeah, and the Little Red Man of Paris, the Abraxas Foundation was a rabbit hole. I think my favorite of the day is probably the radio intrusion one. That shit is spooky as shit.
Yeah.
If it's real.
Well, that's the updated Iceberg image.
It's a recorded radio intrusion. So.
Right, but you think it'd be reported. Remember, the story goes, and a guy on 4chan uploaded.
But still, we got through Karbons, and wow, that thing is like a Yane.